I know this is supposed to be a day of joy, love, pink and red everywhere, roses, happy times. You know, sometimes I even thought maybe I shouldn't even put this video on YouTube. But then I thought about it. This day, on this day, this is where the legacy of OG starts. This is where one part of my life ends, the other part of my life began. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Being a fan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.
Yo, before we even get into this video, make sure you guys be a part of the notification gang so you be the first to know when I drop that hot fire. Like I said, hit that notifications up so you can be the first to know.
So to understand the story, we got to rewind the clock a little bit. We got to go back 10 days and 7 years to February 4th, 2010. February 4th, 2010, I was in college. I was an 18-year-old kid going through college, trying to better my life, trying to better my family's life. Tip-top basketball shape. I'm talking about I had all my badges. I was a lights-out shooter, go to the rack, crossover, knew how to pass it. Had passes on the dime, and was a lockdown defender. That's just what I did. Every time after class, I would go shoot around, put up 1,000 shots. So this one time, I was throwing up 1,000 shots, got a text from my girl at the time, and she was like, we need to talk. Now, you guys know if any girls ask you, you need to talk, something is wrong. Now, me and her, we was going through a lot, man. We started dating in 12th grade and freshman year of college. It just a lot of stuff was happening all at once. I wasn't ready and she wasn't ready. This day, it was one of those days where I was getting fed up. I was like, you know what, man, I can't keep having her nag in my ear, having her do this. And I'm trying to do other things in life, man. Like, I can't have that. So I get on the phone with her and she's going off. She's giving me 1,000, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself in my head, like, you know what? I can't do this no more. This is it. I'm going to tell her right now today that this is it. We're going to go our separate ways. I get ready to tell her I can't do this no more. And then my dad calls. Now, think about my dad. My dad really don't do a lot of talking on the phone. He doesn't really like the phone aspect when it comes to talking. He may text you every now and then, but he'd rather see you face to face and talk face to face. But he will call you from time to time, especially me. When he called me, it was always important. So he called me. Pops is on the phone. He calling me. It must be something important. She was like, yeah, go ahead, go answer that. Pick up the phone, and I knew instantly. What the problem was. Instantly. He was like, your grandmother passed. It wasn't just my grandmother passing. I saw my grandma every day. From the time I was born till I was 18-year-old until I went off to school. And I stayed close enough to home because of her. So I stayed. I went to a private D3 school instead of a D1 school where the coach wanted me to go walk on because I sent my tapes in too late. He wanted me to walk on for him. I went to a Division 3 school. Stayed close, metro accessible, so I can get home anytime I wanted to for my grandmother. So when he told me that, man, I was at a loss for words, man. I couldn't really say much, but, you know, I had to gather myself because I got brothers. I had to make sure my brother was okay. I had to make sure my mother was okay. So I straightened up and was like, yo, can you give my brothers the phone? And I am the middle child, but I am the oldest mentally. Dad told me, he was like, if you want to come home, you can come home anytime you want, I'll come get you. So I told him, all right, let me think about it. Now, the reason I had to think about it is because basketball back then was my therapy. It got me through a lot of stuff in my life, man. Basketball got me through maybe the reason why I'm here today. To be honest with you, who knows what I've been doing if it wasn't for basketball. I definitely wouldn't be on YouTube. I definitely wouldn't have the confidence to come talk to you guys about you. Basketball took me through a lot of points of my life, from high to low. I was thinking, I had an intramural game that night, and the thing about intramurals is at that school, it was bigger than some of the regular games because a lot of the people who was good at the school didn't play for the college. It was a D3. I know a lot of D2, D1 talent on that campus who didn't play for the team. And I was included. So it was a big event because everybody got to play. Everybody was talking trash. We had that competitive rivalry. I was thinking, yo, like, I should play this game for my grandmother. I should play it for her. That's what she deserves. She deserved to go out on top. My grandma was 90 at the time she died. Great health. Not great, but she was in good health. She could walk on her own. She can take care of herself. And she also could talk in front of a congregation, in front of a church without a mic. So I was like, you know what? I can definitely get 90 points. It was no doubt in my mind I can get 90 points on that day. The way I felt, there was no doubt in my mind I could have. I sat there in front of my computer for 3 or 4 hours just thinking. I was thinking so much that my father had to call me and say, hey, do you want me to pick you up? Yes or no? Come pick me up so I can go to the house and see her before they take her body away and then come back and play the game. My dad picks me up. He's talking to me the whole time. I'm trying to hold a conversation, but all thing I can think in my head is that this is not real. So I was thinking to myself, this can't be true. This can't be true. I'm driving home. This can't be true. Now, I was handling everything great until I turned that corner and hit my street. Once I hit my street, I knew it was a wrap because I started bawling. I'm talking about tears after tears after tears after tears because I knew I had to face one of my biggest fears. I had to open up a door and not see a person sitting right there on the couch that used to be there every single day when I opened that door. She would not be on that couch. She would not be smiling back at me. She would not be like, hey, babe. Like, one thing people don't understand is that the way she used to light up when I walked into the room, the way she used to light up, her face used to light up when I came into the room. I only seen one other person do that to me. So I'm in the car crying. I told him, give me 5 minutes. He go in the house. I'm sitting there trying to get myself together, walk in the house. Nah, everybody's there. Pastors, friends of the family, just everybody and their dog. We had a dog in that family, and the dog was there too. So I open the door, look on the couch. There's no one there. So I take steps into the house. Everybody's coming from different angles, trying to see how I'm doing, what I've been doing. And I don't want to hear that. I'm like, no, I want to go see the body. I go upstairs in a room to check on the body just to find out that 10 minutes before I got there, they took the body out. All these emotions were coming through my body, man, and I had to go see my mother. I've been seeing my mother. I'm like, everybody get out of my way with my mother. I couldn't find her. For some reason, I couldn't find her. Then eventually I found her. I grabbed her. She grabbed me. 15 to 20 minutes, man. We were just pouring out emotions because that was her mother. So she knew how I felt because we felt the same way about her mother. So it was a pretty sad moment, I guess. So after that, I eventually went back to school. I tried to make the game. I missed the game. So now, not only did I didn't get to see my grandmother, I also missed the game. That was something big to me. I was going to score about 90. A lot of you not. I know y'all think that number is too big, too imaginable, and you be like, yo, you were never going, bruh. That day, the way I felt, I was going off. That was my way of venting. So since I couldn't vent, since I got back, the gym was closed. I couldn't go to the gym. I was in my room. Everybody was turning up, popping bottles, all this other stuff, man. And back then, man, I didn't take part in none of that stuff. And when they did that, man, I couldn't play basketball. I couldn't talk to nobody. I felt like. So I just took a drink. I just took one drink. One drink turned to two. Two turned to three. 3, 4, 5, 6. Because it numbed the pain. I was so hurt, man. It numbed the pain, man. And the thing about it, I never told nobody about that. It really numbed my pain. At that point in time, man, I didn't care no more. I needed something to stop me from hurting. And that pain lasted for up to about 3 years. It lasted for about 3 years before I really looked at myself and was like, all right, we're good now. A couple days later, we had the funeral. So the funeral was going to be on the 11th and the 12th. He's going to have 2 funerals. Yes, 2 funerals. One here in DC and one down in North Carolina. That's where she used to live. She wanted to be buried next to her parents. So he's like, all right, that's one thing we can do. We can grant that wish. But the funeral was so weird, man. As soon as we get into the building, we're going to walk down the aisle. We're going to walk to the casket. So we get almost halfway, not close. Let's say we get about 1/4 of the way to the casket, and my mom shoots back. She snatches her hand away from me, shoots back into her room, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on here? Like, what's good here? Like, that's not the plan." So I go in the joint, look at her, and be like, "Yo, what's good?" She is bawling. She's like, "I can't deal with it. I can't see my mother like this. I can't do that. I can't do that." I'm like, "Mom, you're the strongest person that we know at this point in time, and we need you. I need you. I need you to get right so I can get right, so everybody else can get right." You know, I got that settled. We both walked down the aisle. I grabbed her hand like this. We hooked each other's arms in. I got it tight, and we walked down that aisle. And I knew it was going to be difficult. The 2 people it was going to be the most difficult on was be me and her. The service started. Now, it was crazy. Just a whole bunch of emotions, a whole bunch of stuff was happening. Even the pastor almost passed out during the eulogy. So that was weird in this fact. And I was like, yo, I don't want to do this ever again. Like, this is my last funeral I'm ever going to. So then I had another funeral. So we packed up later that night and went down to North Carolina because we had the funeral on the 12th. Now, on the way down there, and when we got down there, it started snowing a little bit. It was a little snow, not a lot of snow. People down south, they don't see snow too often. So when they see snow, they like to take their time and cherish their moments. The funeral home decided they wasn't doing the funeral on the 12th. And they wasn't going to do it on the 13th because they felt like doing it on the 14th of February was the best option. And that if we wasn't going to do that, they was going to wait until like the 19th or the 20th to do it. And people was already down there. So it's like, no, we here to get it done and let's get it over with. My mom comes and tell everybody that the funeral was going to be on Valentine's Day. I'm like, not only do I have to sit through another funeral, I had to sit through another funeral on Valentine's Day when I'm supposed to be back home with my girl doing whatever. So you talking about the longest day of my life, man. The longest 2 or 3 hours of my life was sitting there in that funeral home or in that church. It was at a church. In that church, watching and looking and hearing all the stories they say about my grandma, knowing good and well that this is the last time I'm ever going to see her again. And I don't really show a lot of emotion. I really don't share a lot of my feelings with a lot of people. But that day, man, I felt like I could have just balled myself up and jumped right in that casket and go down there with her. Because it's like, she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. She had dreams for me that I never had for myself. Now I used to go to her room, we used to talk. She used to tell me all the time how successful I was going to be in life. And once we put her in the ground on that day, I felt myself swirling downwards. I got kicked out of school. I couldn't keep a job. You know what I mean? It's not because it's not because I couldn't keep one. It's because I didn't want one. It's because growing up, she always put stuff in my head that I was going to be better. I was going to be bigger and better than what I ever imagined. I was going to be rich. I was going to be this. I was chance to do that, chance to do this. She always put that in my head. She always put in my head that I was never going to be able to work for somebody. So it kind of stuck with me. And every job I ever had has always been something telling me that I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. I have something bigger and better set up for my life. Now, that is the worst day of my life. And ever since that day, man, it's been a pain in my side, man. And today is the day is when I'm gonna let it all go. YouTube, I'm telling you stuff that I haven't told nobody. I kept it deep down inside. My ex-girl who was with me through that stuff doesn't even know some of this stuff, man. She's the reason why I unraveled. She's the reason why I never trust anybody else. I never got people close to me. Definitely a girl-wise, because I didn't want to lose them like that. Because I felt like if I lost her, I could lose anybody, which is true. But I'm here to say, YouTube, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have pushed people away. I should have got them closer. Because on today, a day like this is where you're supposed to tell the people who you love the most that you love them. Before she went in that ground, I said all that. I gave my grandma the flowers and kisses and roses and hugs when she was alive. Now I'm here to tell you guys, somebody out there may be going through something. You may have somebody going through something. Make sure you tell them how much you love them, man. I don't care if you are a guy. I don't care if you're 25, 35, 18, 12. It's okay. It's okay to love, man. It's okay. You're not a punk because you tell somebody you love it. I tell my friends, man, that I love these guys because I know how much it matters, bro. Life is so short, man. I've lost almost like 50, 60 people to guns, violence, death. They are dead now. That I used to go to high school with. Life is too short, man, for you not to tell somebody that you care about them. I care about all my subs. I love all my subs. I love my family. I love everybody. So today on this day, don't just treat your girl right. Treat your family right, man. And from this day on forth, treat it like Valentine's Day. Because you never know if they're going to make it back to the next Valentine's Day. Say all that to say if somebody's out there that you love, man, love them. Don't be afraid to love, bruh. I know a lot of rappers and YouTubers say, I don't love these hoes, man. No. If you love him, love. I'm an advocate of it because I know on this day 7 years ago, I buried a person that I love. And if I didn't show her the love that I showed her, I would be devastated right now. So make sure on this day that you show your love to the people that you care about. 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4 through 8. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy, love does not boast. Love is not proud. It does not dishonor others and is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil or rejoice in the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, and it always perseveres. Love never fails.
In these fast times, chasing lifelines for a lifetime. I've had my heart in the right place at the wrong time with the right girl in another world. Maybe we would be together still. If you hear this and resent that, I don't give a shit, I'll let it spill. I don't give a damn, I'll keep it real. Cause by now I hope you know the drill. I would never lie, young forever, I ain't never